First record we're going to talk about is the brand new record from DIE SPITZ. This is called Something to Consume. It's their first full-length album ever. This is a band from Austin, Texas. Let's look at the record real quick, okay? So, not much of an inner sleeve. The record itself, I just went for the black vinyl. You know me, I'm not like super into all the variations and whatnot. It doesn't really make much difference to me. It's how the record sounds and what the music is, right? It is a gatefold with a really cool image on this is the cover and the front and the back. It's pretty wild. I mean, I'll put it up on the screen because this isn't really doing much. But the gatefold, again, has the lyrics on the inside, handwritten. Very cool. I'm glad the lyrics are there because they're very well thought out and very intense lyrics. But I got to tell you, I'm 54, and even with these powerful lenses, I can't, I mean, it's just, I can't read it. So, if I do actually quote any lyrics from the album here in the video, I took that off the internet, so apologies if it's wrong. It's just my eyes were so strained from this, I couldn't do it. I've done other videos that featured DIE SPITZ in them. I first caught the band back in 2023 when they opened for Amon the Sniffers at the Waiting Room. It was an incredible show. I went with a buddy of mine, and she and I were both there to see Amon the Sniffers. I didn't really know much about DIE SPITZ at that point, but their set blew me away, and that's mild. I mean, that's a mild term to say they blew me away. It was so incredible. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I immediately after the show ran back to the merch table. They didn't have much merch, but they did have their first record. Okay, so this is Teeth with The Revenge of Evangeline. I bought it off the bass player, Kate. She's also my favorite in the band. Not just because of that, but because she's really tall and she plays with these gigantic, like, huge basses and she lumbers around the stage. It's like, it's fucking cool. It's pretty interesting dynamic when you see her on stage. She's great. So I bought that record, took it home, played it, loved it. The song Hair of Dog from that Teeth EP is without a doubt the band's best song so far, and that song is so great. I could listen to it like over and over and over and over, like I was a kid again. When you hear a cool song and then you're just like, I want to hear it over and over and over. The video also excellent. One of the best music videos I've seen. It's so perfectly cut the way it's edited to the songs and the riffs and the timing and everything. It's just great. But I have been eagerly anticipating when, DIE SPITZ would have an actual album out, right? And then I heard they got signed to Third Man. I was like, whoa, nice move, Third Man. You have caught yourself on a huge upcoming band. It's just absolutely fantastic. So let's do some of the information about the record. So it's produced by a guy named Will Yip, and you've seen his name on records from bands like Mannequin Pussy, Pity, Sex, Quicksand, Scowl, Turnstile. Scowl, a band that I've caught on to recently and I'm a big fan of. So, I mean, in general, let's say there's a sort of a general sound. It does have an overall 90s influence. I love that. I was in my 20s in the 90s. That was literally my era. So I cannot complain about that. There's some grunge sounds, some post-grunge, and some metal. But even though the album doesn't have anything like A Hair of the Dog, and a lot of people saw the, Throw Yourself to the Sword video or heard the song and were like, wow, that is some molten metal. The album is not a metal album. I think that'd be a misnomer to say it was. It's not just a straight punk record either. So when I'm listening to the album, I'm hearing a couple of different things. Actually, three sort of loose variations that I'm describing, right? So there are 90s grungy and grunge songs, some of them more catchy, some of them heavy, it just kind of depends on the tune. There's a little post-grunge in there. There are some absolute metal tracks like Throw Yourself to the Sword. But I really think there's sort of three sounds, and there's also this third thing that's this sort of, it's heavy, dirgy, slow, but with a sort of angelic vocal sometimes, or almost dream pop. And I think a lot of those songs, and I want to say maybe Sound to No One perhaps, or Punishers, they remind me a lot of the band Failure. Failure's been on my mind a lot lately. It's a band I love. I loved them in the 90s. I love them now in their comeback. I did just recently watch their documentary, so maybe that was a little bit on my mind, but I mean, I was hearing it. I mean, honestly, like when you're listening to like Sound to No One on side 2, it starts off, it's kind of metallic. It's a rocker. It's a sort of, it reminds me a little bit of a Soundgarden-esque riff with like dreamy vocals, but then the bass has that Greg Edwards tone from Failure. In general, I would say the production is light years beyond their original 2 EPs, but it's not slick and polished by any means, and it still has a production nod almost to the late Steve Albini, in my opinion, because it does have drums are very, very loud, and the vocals are mixed just barely above the music. Okay, it's not like most songs where the vocals are so much louder than anything in the music. That's the way pop music sort of works. But Albini just used to mix records where the vocal was just barely above the noise. And you're hearing that, I hear that anyways, when I'm listening to Something to Consume. And it's something that I like because bands don't really do that anymore. It's just not done. They're great musicians, even better than I assumed they were from seeing them live and watching tons of clips. I think the lyrics are super intense and powerful and very, very meaningful, and you can just feel it in the performance. Inside the album, it doesn't say who specifically played what. It says that it's played by these 4 members, all songs written by these 4 members, but 3 of them can switch instruments, right? So Kate is always on bass, but Chloe, Ava, and Ellie sometimes play drums, and sometimes they switch, and play the other's guitar or whatever. So I hadn't seen a band do that really since Those Darlings, where they used to switch between bass and drums and guitar, and it's cool to watch, and it just shows how incredibly talented they are, because the guitar parts are not easy. Some of these songs, they have some really cool melodic bits. There's a real shredder solo on Throw Yourself to the Sword, and there's a lot of really cool parts like that. And if you're just switching instrument to instrument, the drums are played really well on that. That's hard to do with multiple drummers. It doesn't sound like it's different if it switches to another drummer. So again, big note on that one. I have to say probably the best song on the album is the song called American Porn. The song is a melodic rocker, starts off kind of slow, and then it explodes. It probably has the most impassioned vocal performance on the entire record, and you can literally feel the rage coming out of the speakers. So, the chorus is the most intense part, and the lyrics are like, stay right here, come with me, show and perform, shut your mouth, show your face, American porn. Stay right here, come with me, shut your mouth, show your face, American porn. After that, there's a lot of songs after that, but I need a break when I'm listening to it straight through after that song, because I usually play it twice, and then I'm just like, all right, I need to like mellow out for a second. It's just, I've already discussed Sound to No One. Go Get Dressed on side 2 is just a really slow kind of dirgy tune with more Greg Edwards sounding bass on that one. Kate's bass is really doing that Greg Edwards thing. It's really, really cool. You got Red 40, fast, fun rocker, Riding With My Girls. It's a very fast metallic tune, and there's a video for that one. It kind of reminds me almost of like Bad Motorfinger era Soundgarden, so 92, 93. Different style of vocals, but like, again, a really, really great tune, Riding With My Girls. Punishers was one that I recognized as sounding very Failure-esque. Listen to the album Comfort, guys, the first album. And then Down on It, which is a really awesome tune, an aggressive rocker. It's like all 100% attitude. It's like the guitar chords are so cool, and when they're building up to the chorus, and then it's like this great Nirvana chorus where it's just a screamer that's like you're gonna be screaming along because she's screaming down on it. It's fucking so fun to listen to. When I say Nirvana, it's like people don't really write like that. People try to write like Nirvana. People have tried for years. I'm gonna be the next Nirvana. These guys aren't trying to be the next Nirvana. They just write that way. I think it comes out that way naturally. And like when you listen to the guitar chords that lead up to the chorus, the stuff could sometimes be deceptively simple, the way Nirvana was, where he plays like 3 chords and you're like, but how is it so fucking catchy? Because I play those 3 chords and it sounds like shit. Right. You don't have the writing skills of Die Spitz or Nirvana. But anyways, my favorite tracks on the record are definitely American Porn, Voir Dire, and Down on It. And if I had to give it a out of 10 sort of rating, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. This album is absolutely incredible. 100% worth the hype. It exceeds the hype without question.